Yeah, this has to go out more. I can't work in there. A lot more. And I'm gonna take this. Yeah.
Is this gonna be
That might do it. More, yeah, a lot more. Okay, more. There, that should do it right there.
That's good.
Yep. So we're gonna put a light in this section of the wall right here. Trace our box. Down the side here. Up the side here. And the inside here. And we'll go on the inside here. There we are, we got our hole. So we'll cut our hole out, put our box in the wall. So that is called the keyhole saw. Okay, we'll cut our other one down here to put our switch and outlet in. We'll put it right here. You have to be really careful on this one because the box is going to fit right in your, has to fit right in here perfectly. There we go. Let's go right here. See how our box is going to fit in there? Wow, that's going to fit in there perfectly. Okay, so we snaked our wire down for the power, and when I bring power into a box, I like to go left to right, so. Power into this one right here. This will be the one to go back up to our light. There it is. Okay, now we put our box into the wall here. Take a little tiny bit here. Just a very, very slight cross. There we go. Tight. Pull more of our light wire down because we need some ground wire to pigtail to our switch and to our outlet. That takes some more here. So here in the country I was born in, we use a 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Okay, we'll push some slack back up here. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with our ground wires here. We have a bag of assorted wire nuts here. Okay, so we'll get our pigtail together to go to our devices, both of them. Do you know what time it is?
7:27.
Okay, we'll come this leaving here. Put our wire nut on here. Is he coming? How long until he comes back? How long until he comes back?
I don't know. Maybe a few minutes.
So we got our ground wires back out of our way here. And we'll cut our black wire to make our jumper here to go from the outlet to the okay, so we'll put our ground wire around our green screw here. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's tight like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. We have a good connection like this here. And we'll bring this wire around. And we'll put our black from the power going to our outlet on this one. Here in the country I was born in, our black wire is live, white is neutral, the bare of the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 120 volt switch loop or on a 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. Make sure it's tight. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns here. Can you call him and ask him if you found the part? Make sure nice and tight like that. What'd you say? Okay, so we'll just push this into our box here. We'll keep our ground wire down at the bottom. And this is the two that go to our switch. And we'll finish that by hand so we don't strip our holes out. Get it centered and we'll tighten it up. Okay. Get our ground wires back out of the way of everything here. Now we can put our switch in. Here in the country I was born in, up is on, down is off. If you put it in upside down, it will say no when it's on and it'll be down. So we'll put our ground wire around our green screw. Make sure it's tight like that. Make sure our copper's under the screw head all the way. I had to use the flat head because this Phillips hops on it sometimes. So we'll flip it around. We'll keep our ground wire at the bottom, and we'll put since it's a single pole switch, it doesn't matter which two screws you put your black wires on. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. Make your loop the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's tight. Okay, now we'll just push our device back into our wall and keep our ground wire down here. He's not answering. I'll finish that by hand so we don't strip our holes out. Make sure it's centered here. Centered here. One wires down away from everything. Okay, so we'll stick our cover on here. So right here. This one. This one right here. Put it into our box.
لاش خليتيه هذاك خليتيه هذاك راه نعطف جيبي لي ريكورد انا نعطف له وحده انا باش نقول جيبي لي ريكورد نعطف له علاش
Box is nice and tight.
لا ما هبطت انتي هبطتي لي كرمتي هبطتي لي خلاص كيف كملنا ترى قبل ما يبدا الوقت ديغولا سيرتيفيكاسيون مور ما ذبحتيني دوكش من تيا مور ما ذبحتيني موس نو مور ما ذبحتيني دوكش تعجبيني كي تلعبي دور التحيه كي تذبحي
This is our bracket we screw up onto our box here. Okay, so we'll strip our wires here. Strip them with the hole that matches the wire gauge we're using. So we have our ground screw up here. We got to ground our bracket to the box. Okay, so we'll put our ground wire around our ground wire here. Wire nut on here. And we'll strip our black and white a little longer so we get a nice wrap around our screws. Okay, so we'll start with our black wire. We'll get our strands all out like this. We'll get our insulation even at the bottom like this here. We'll wrap our strands around our solid wire like this. Get them all nice and even here at the end. Like that. Take our wire nut. It's nice and tight, and insulation is up inside the wire nut. Ground wire back into our box. Okay, now we'll take our white wire, get our insulation even at the bottom, wrap our strands around our solid wire like this. Make sure our insulation is even at the bottom and our copper is even at the end. That there. Put our wire nut on. Make sure insulation's all up inside the wire nut. There it is. That's what we want. Now we'll get our bracket this way, but we gotta put our wires into the box here. Hi, Turkish. Yeah, I'm here. I'm putting the light up.
What's up, David?
Yeah. Did you get the, I have to take a screw out trying to get the wires into the box.
You need two bits, right?
Yes, yes.
You need wires?
I might need the wire, yes. Yes, but no.
دقيقة.
Okay. Ado kam.
والله.
And make sure the wires are back away from the screws. Get this straightened out on here like this. Okay, I'm gonna make sure the screws aren't hitting the wires. Okay, the screws aren't hitting the wires. I'll just put the fixture back on the box. I'll make sure it's tight here. And this has a ring on it here to hold our globe in place. Set it in here like this. And we'll just get nice and snug, and I'll turn it on with this switch here so they can operate it with the switch we just put in.